Well, thank you all for being here. I know several people emailed and said, oh, I can't make it now. Are you recording? And so, yes, we are recording. So we'll share this out with anyone that can't join us. But I know for sure on the call today, Tiffany is here, and Tiffany is our marketing manager at NCTC. So you may hear from her about our upcoming events, and all of the pretty emails that you get from us come from Tiffany. And we have two board members on the call, and I'm going to introduce them a little later, tell you a little bit about them, and they're going to jump in and give us all some pointers. So I'm Angie Hayes. I'm the executive director of NCTC, and it's great to have you with us. Since we only have a couple of folks, Virginia, I know, and it's good to see your face. And if you want to mute, you're not on mute anymore. Maggie, I don't know if we know each other yet. What school are you with?
Hi, I am a visiting interim director at University of North Carolina School of the Arts for the high school drama program.
Oh, wonderful. It's so nice to meet you. I'm a UNCSA alum. I got my master's degree from design and production. So it's nice to meet you.
Oh, great. Nice to meet you too. I'm thrilled to be here.
We can talk offline if you have more questions or anything else, and hopefully see you at the event. So welcome.
She has one of my students.
Yes.
Davari.
Oh,
you've got two of my students. Yeah.
And is the other one Diana Soto?
Yeah, Diana. Yes.
Oh, they're wonderful. They're doing a great job.
Excellent. Well, good. I'm glad you all are here. So this is going to be pretty casual. Please feel free to jump in if you have questions. You can drop them into the chat. Tiffany's going to run the slides so that I can see the chat. So please feel free to interrupt. But I'm going to go over some general information about the event, and then we're going to get into some tips and tricks that Dan and Corey are going to help us out with. So College Day is coming up on November 20th at Greensboro College. We are usually at Greensboro College. They do a fabulous job hosting us, and it's going to be another great year so far. Everything is good to be in person, and that is what we are working towards. So you can go ahead and start the slides, Tiffany. So College Day is, we think, the must-do event for students that are planning to do theater in college, whether they are going to major in theater or just want to be involved in theater. There are schools there that want them, and we are going to help them find their best fit. One of the things that's unique about this event is the college theater faculty will be there. A lot of recruitment fairs, you see the admissions folks and staff, but at this event, your students are going to connect with the college theater faculty that they will be studying with when they go to school. Our colleges also bring current theater majors to help with recruitment, and so it's a really great opportunity for high school students to get to talk to not just the faculty, but some current students to really get to know what the programs are like. So we're going to take a look at who's coming in just a bit, but we do have 26 colleges confirmed to join us this year, which is awesome. Go ahead, Tiffany, sorry. So what is there for students to do? Students can audition, they can present a portfolio. And so a lot of students are going to audition. This is definitely the most popular activity. But if students are thinking about pursuing design, production, directing, stage management, then their best option is really to present a portfolio. And a portfolio sounds like a big fancy thing, and we don't want it to sound like a big fancy thing. At the high school level, we're really just looking for some work samples and some things that represent what the students are interested in. And Dan's going to talk a little more about that later on. They can visit with 26 schools at the college fair. We may add a few more, but we know we have 26 that are coming. They can talk with colleges about scholarship opportunities. Many years ago, this event had a really long name, and it was the college and university auditions, portfolio reviews, college fair, and scholarships, because lots of the schools that come to this event are coming with scholarships in hand. They're ready to send students home with scholarship offers. And if they are not in a position to do that, they're going to give the families all the information about how they can inquire about those scholarships. But we absolutely have schools that are ready to make those offers on the spot based on what they see at College Day. Many students go home with multiple scholarship opportunities. And this is a chance for students and parents to get to know all 26 of these schools. It's really important to us to give students and families the opportunity to pursue all of the schools to look at opportunities that they might not have thought of before, and to make sure all of our colleges have an opportunity to talk to all of our students. So this year, we're handling things a little differently than we have in the past, of course, due to COVID. So we've created a scavenger hunt for the students and parents so that we can encourage them to go and talk to all of the schools. The students won't have as much time for this as the parents will. So the students will have a phone app and they'll have to scan a QR code or take a photo or do something quick at all of the tables. The parents are going to have a little more time on their hands. So we're going to make their scavenger hunt a little more challenging and give them some information to gather throughout the event. And all the students and parents that complete the scavenger hunt will go home with a great prize. So that's how we're going to help the students meet all of the colleges this year. And then normally we have lots of workshop opportunities for both the students and parents. And this year, all of those are going to be offered virtually. So we're going to focus the day on connecting students with the college faculty, and then we'll let folks enjoy those workshops on their own time, and they'll be on demand. They'll be available for them to view anytime that they want. So we're putting those together now, but you can expect things like admissions. What can I do with a theater degree? We have a student panel that talks about a day in the life of a theater major. So they're great for students, but they're really great for parents because they answer all of those parent questions like, why should my kid get a theater degree? Are they ever going to get a job? So we help tackle some of those questions. Thanks, Tiffany. So why should high school teachers attend? So obviously, this is a great event to come and support your students. Parents are welcome to register and attend, but we know not all students have supportive parents at home that are going to be able to come to the event. Or if they do, it's great for you to be part of that team that's helping them figure out their next steps. So it's a great way not just to support the students that are auditioning or presenting a portfolio this year, but your students that are prepping for future years. You're going to be able to get a really good idea of how the event works, how all these college programs work, what they're looking for, so that you can better prep even next year's students. You can learn all about the college programs. I know you all have students that come to you and say, where should I go? What should I do? And so you can help them make those decisions. We also have a great team that helps run this event, made up of the NCTC board and then several NCTC alumni that have studied theater in college in North Carolina. So they can also kind of help them throughout the day find their way. But it's great if you can be there by their side. You have the opportunity as educators to watch the auditions. Parents aren't allowed in the audition room, but you are. So you can watch your students, you can watch other students and get good feedback to take back as you're coaching next year's class. And you can review all of the portfolios to get a better idea of what students are doing and how you can help your students. You can also connect with college faculty. When I talk to college theater faculty, they're always asking me how to better connect with your students. And so they are available to you to be guest artists, to help when you have needs. I always tell them, you know, we have teachers that are doing 8 jobs, right? You all are doing, you're doing the acting coaching, you're designing the lights and set and sound and costumes and all of the things. And they have great faculty and students that would be a resource to you if we can get you all connected. So this event is a great opportunity to do that, and it's free. You come for free, you do whatever you want to do throughout the day and have a good time with your kids. So we hope you will come. This is a look at our college lineup for this year so far. So we have lots of North Carolina's wonderful state schools. We have many private schools. A lot of times parents have ruled out private schools before they walk in the door. But again, a lot of these schools have great scholarships and financial aid packages to offer. So we encourage parents and students not to rule anyone out before they get there. Talk to them, see what they have to offer. We've got UNCSA, which is a conservatory. We've got Meredith College, which is a female program. We've got all sorts of options for our students to consider. You guys know some of the best theater programs in the country are here in North Carolina. So as much as we want the students to find their best fit wherever it will be, we are quick to remind them that we've got lots of really fabulous programs here in North Carolina, and we hope they'll consider staying close to home. And of course, the state is huge, so they don't have to stay too close to home and still find a great theater program here in the state. So you can find on our website links to all of these theater programs, and we're going to encourage your students to visit these links and check them out before they even complete their registration, and I'll explain why in just a moment. Okay, go ahead, Tiffany. So registration rates for the events, the colleges all pay a fee to be there to talk with your students and see their work. And then students that are auditioning or presenting a portfolio have a registration rate of $65. This includes everything they'll be doing for the day. And then we charge $35 for students who are attending the college fair only. So if you have students who are just not sure if they're comfortable auditioning or being interviewed, they're just exploring their options, maybe there's some of your younger students, they can sign up just to do the college fair, and they will get to do the scavenger hunt. They'll get those virtual workshops, but they won't have the added layer of pressure of presenting or auditioning. And it's a great way to just start to explore options. And then parents sign up for $10. That gets them access to the college fair and to those scavenger hunts for them as well. So really cheap for parents to come along. And then we do have scholarships available. So for our schools that are participating in the high school play festival, we do award talent scholarships through the play festival. So our top actors at every regional site and our top design and production students get a free scholarship for college day. And then we also have need-based scholarships, and we've made the process as simple as we possibly can this year. It's very streamlined. Teachers don't have to make recommendations or write letters or anything like that. If you have a student that needs financial aid to attend, they just simply write a one-page letter, and there's details on our website. They email it to amanda@nctc.org by November 10th, and we give them a scholarship. Obviously, if we were overcome with hundreds of applicants, we might have to be a little more picky, but know that if you do have students that have need, they're very likely going to get a scholarship for us to attend the event. And we're grateful for our sponsors and partners who help make this happen, including the North Carolina Arts Council. So please, if you have students that want to come, we want them to be there. Let us know how we can help, if there's anything beyond this that we can do to help them get there. When they go to register, it's a one-shop process, a one-step situation. They don't have to do multiple things on multiple days. When they go to register, they're going to need a photo, a headshot. It does not have to be a professional headshot. All of our students can take these with their iPhones. That's totally fine. Then they're going to fill out a student info online form. We're going to collect contact info, test scores, GPA, all the stuff the colleges need to know, we're going to collect on that online form. It's available now for you to check out. You can preview the whole thing. You can even run through a fake submission if you want, just to make sure you're really sure how it works for your kids. But we're going to ask them about their interests. We're going to ask them if they want to do theater all the time in college or theater some of the time in college. Are they interested in BA, BFA, or are they not sure yet? All kinds of things that are going to help the colleges get to know your students better, but they don't have to upload a resume, and they don't have to upload any sort of video submission. So it's just a photo, and then complete this online form. They're also going to rate the colleges. So I mentioned that we have links to all of the college theater programs on our website. So when your students go to register, they're going to have an opportunity. I think we use a 4 or 5 star system to give each school a star rating. And what that does is it indicates to our colleges if this is a recruitable student or not. So again, we encourage everyone to explore every option, but we know that some students have simply made their mind up that they are not interested in certain colleges, and they're only interested in others. So if they mark 4 or 5 stars, then a college is going to pay attention to that student and try to recruit them if they're a good fit for their program. But if they say no stars, not interested, that lets the colleges know how to spend their time and not to reach out over and over and over again to a student that they know has already said we're not interested. Ideally, your students may not know at this point, and that's totally fine. That's great. They should give everybody 3 stars and everybody will try to recruit them. But if they want to go ahead and express some of their interests and desires, they can do that, and that helps the colleges know whether or not they should pursue that student. And then finally, they'll need a credit card for payment, or they'll need a scholarship code. So any scholarships that are given, we give them a promo code to use on registration. So that's all they need. It's available now. Everything is online. And if you run into any problems, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're happy to help. So for 2021, I almost said 2020 because it feels like we're still in 2020, but for 2021, we are requiring masks for everyone. This does include in the audition room. Greensboro College requires masks everywhere, including on stage. So that is what we are doing. We're going to do everything we can to keep everyone safe. Students are going to be assigned to small groups, and they're going to arrive throughout the day. So we used to bring everyone onto campus all at once. We had a big orientation. We did lots of things as a big, huge group. And this year, students and parents are going to be assigned an arrival time that might be in the morning. It might be in the afternoon. And then when they come to campus, they're going to be directed to their audition or their portfolio review. And then they'll have plenty of time to visit the college fair, but people will be coming and going throughout the day so we can minimize the crowds as much as possible. But everyone will have plenty of time with the colleges. Again, we're doing our workshops virtually, and everyone will have lunch on their own this year. We used to try to feed everyone on campus in the cafeteria, and that's not going to be possible with COVID protocols. So we have built in a lunch break, so everyone has plenty of time to go grab lunch. Nobody's going to feel like they're missing anything, and then come back and finish up their day if they have more work to do in the afternoon. Thanks, Tiffany. And you can see there's a schedule on our website, and you can see all the details there. If you have any questions about the schedule, don't hesitate to reach out. So protocols for the auditions. The students will audition in groups of 15. The auditions are in a small black box theater. The faculty, the college faculty sits in the front, the students sit on the sides, and they watch the whole group audition. So your student will be in a group of 15. They will watch 14 other people audition in their group, and then that group is taken out and the next group comes in. Immediately after the auditions, we will post callbacks, and I'll talk more about that in a second. So the protocol for the audition, each student should say their name and their audition number. And this has changed from years past if you've sent students recently. We used to do this sort of additional student introduction section. We are not doing that anymore. We're cutting it for time. So they just do name and number. 60 seconds for a monologue. So this will be timed. So the time starts with the first word of the monologue. It does not include the name and number talking. So 60 seconds for a monologue. And then if they are choosing to sing, we want 16 bars of singing. It says if singing. Oh, yes. So if they are singing, 16 bars, they don't have to sing. So 60 seconds for a monologue, 16 bars if you're singing. We want everyone to do a monologue first. And you do not need, students don't need to say the name of the play that their monologue's from or the song title. They can just jump right in. We'll have live accompaniment. Our accompanists are from Elon. They're fabulous. They've been with us for several years. They also play for things like the NCTC screening auditions. They are musical theater accompanists. This is what they do, and they will do a great job. So students will have just a moment with the accompanist before they step out on stage. So they should be prepared to say, here's where I start, here's where I finish, and ready to go. So obviously you're going to want to do a lot of practicing with live accompaniment, and Corey's going to talk more about that later. As soon as the group leaves the audition rooms, the colleges will hand forward to the audition coordinators their callbacks, and we will then post sheets at the college fair with callbacks. So the way this works, each college has a sheet. So if it's UNCG, it'll say UNCG at the top, and then it will list the numbers. And a callback means we want to see you again. It doesn't mean we want to see you audition again necessarily. It means go to the college fair to our booth and talk to us. We are interested in talking with you. So those will go up immediately after each group auditions, and the students will have plenty of time to go and visit with all the schools that called them back. and also every single other school. We really want to make sure students understand that just because they didn't get a callback does not mean that they cannot go and talk to that school, and that school may very well end up being their perfect fit. So callbacks are one part of the day. They should not be the focus of the day for anyone. It's just one more tool that's going to help people figure out where they might want to end up. So some schools will invite students to come to campus as the next step in the process. Some will say you need to come and do another audition on campus, and we want to give you feedback and encourage you to do that. Some will again say, we would love for you to come to school here. Here's how you sign up. So it really varies based on the program, but that's how the flow works. You can go ahead, Tiffany, to the next slide. So for students that are doing portfolio review, so if they are presenting a portfolio, it's an entirely different process. We have a big giant room, it's a dance studio, and we will have tables set up all around the room. And your students will come in and set up their portfolio, their presentation at one of the tables. We'll do an orientation so they know exactly what's going to happen. And then we will open the doors for the college faculty. And the colleges come in and they take turns and they go table to table. And they spend time with each student talking to them about their work. So they'll spend anywhere from 2 to 10 minutes talking with a student. They'll tell them about their theater program. The students can ask questions about the program, and the faculty will ask questions about their work. It's just an opportunity to get to know each other. And the students will have a sheet with all of the colleges listed. And we ask the students to put a check mark by every college they see. And if they do not see a college during portfolio review, we ask them to go find that college at the college fair. Some of our colleges bring enough faculty to cover everything that's happening. They'll have somebody in the audition room, somebody in the portfolio room, somebody at the booth. Some of our colleges don't have that many faculty or can't bring that many to the event. So not everyone's going to be in the audition room. Not everyone's going to see the portfolios. But again, we want everyone to go and make sure they have met all the colleges. So the students in the portfolio room, they'll check off who they see. They'll make sure to go visit the other ones. So there are no callbacks for portfolios. And believe me, every college wants to see every student that's presenting a portfolio. So some important dates, registration is open now. We close registration just a couple of days before on November 18th. We do hope that students will get their information in now so we can plan for their appearance at College Day. And we have a couple more webinars coming up. If you have students and parents that would like to learn more, maybe they're not sure if this is for them, you want to encourage them to check it out further, we're doing a webinar on October 27th. It'll include a lot of the information like we've done today, but we'll also, again, do some tips for portfolio review and auditions. We then have more in-depth webinars coming up on audition techniques and portfolio presentation techniques. So those are on November 8th and 9th. Again, that's kind of close to the event, but we know a lot of students are going to maybe wait for a little while to prepare. So we want them to be well on their way to preparing when we have those webinars so they can just get some fine-tuning extra help. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to ask, first of all, if anyone has questions, please do drop them in the chat. I'm happy to answer anything. And we are going to turn it over to Dan and Corey. So Dan Treherne is one of the NCTC board members. Dan teaches at Shelby High School. And before that, he was at Kings Mountain High School. And while at Kings Mountain, his students, I think it was in 2012, actually won the state high school play festival and went on to represent the state of North Carolina at SETC, which is really awesome. Dan has won the North Carolina Theater Conference Educator Award, which is presented, I almost forgot the name of the organization I run, I'm just crazy, NCTC Theater Educator Award, which is presented once a year to an outstanding educator in the state. So Dan's going to talk a little bit about portfolios, and then I will tell you a little bit about Corey after that. So Dan, tell us how you prepare your students to present portfolios at the event.
And this is something that I've actually gone through recently, like this week. I've already started talking to my kids about it. And sorry, yay cats, yeah. I start off by kind of talking to them about how the portfolio is a conversation starter. It's a way for the college reps to kind of have something to kind of establish a common ground with the students and give them something to discuss. The students should be able to talk about their ideas, talk about the process, talk about where the ideas came from, and kind of give the college reps kind of a background on where they're coming from. And as far as format, I've seen all of it. 3-ring binder with page protectors and print offs of pictures and scripts and all the material and everything. I've had students who put together a PowerPoint or a Google slideshow that included everything, and they just had an iPad and they were just swiping through on the iPad and letting the reps do that. There are some who set up display boards. You saw in the picture just a little bit ago. Some bring a triboard and set it up like science fair presentations that we've all probably done. So anything to just kind of get their ideas in one place at one time. As far as the ideas themselves, like everything. We use SketchUp a lot for our scene designs. And so I've told my students, make a scene design, even though we are already building the set, we already have a set design. Come up with your own design for a show that we're currently doing. It doesn't have to be an idea that makes it to stage. It can be your variation on the design that we are currently doing. I tell them if they read a play that they really like, go in and make a design for it, even if it's not in our season or one that we're actively considering. I tell them it can be official designs that are pretty and polished and all that. It can be napkin sketches. It shows the process. It shows that the student is a thinking and creative person. It doesn't all have to be visual. It doesn't have to be pictures. If they're a lighting design student, they can provide instrument schedules. If they're a sound student, they can show where they've mapped out kind of a microphone transfer of this actor gets it here and that kind of stuff. Light plots, they can take pictures of the script if they're a stage manager where they've written blocking and light cues and a script that's almost unreadable with the dialogue because it's got so many notes in it. That's all good stuff. But I also make sure they understand that it doesn't have to be theater either. It's anything that is a design idea that connects into theater. So I was in a workshop where one of the designers from School of the Arts mentioned, if they help their dad build a deck, take pictures of the deck, take pictures of that process, because that is construction, that is set design. And kind of just going off of that, if they build their Halloween costume, take a picture of it, go with that. If they do exotic makeup because it's homecoming and they're making all their friends look pretty with the makeup and everything, take a picture. We do a thing some years where we have like the police department come in and we do gore effects to scare the kids into driving safe for a prom and stuff like that. Take a picture of it if your students are doing that kind of thing. If they do even as far as cosplay, I've seen some cosplay stuff that would be very welcome on my stage. And I'm like, I want to hire you. Come here. But yeah, that's basically it. Just, any ideas that they can come up with that are in any area of theater, they can take a picture of it. If it's small enough, they can bring in examples of it. They don't need to be backing up a box truck to the design room to pull in that much stuff. But really just be open and be creative and don't be ashamed of your ideas. And I guess the big thing is it doesn't have to be an idea that makes it to life, for lack of a better way to put it. My students tend to get stuck on that of, well, we never used it, so because you didn't use it, therefore it's a bad idea. And I say, no, that's just, it's not the one that we're going with. That doesn't make it a bad idea. It makes it different from what I want to go with. So
Thank you, Dan. Virginia is asking if you would recommend a small model. Yes, I think that's awesome.
yeah.
I think the most important thing is we know that high school students, most of them that are interested in tech theater, do not have this put together yet. And that is fine. They can bring what they have. The colleges they all want to recruit tech students. So they will be interested in anything they bring and just talking to them about what they're interested in. If you have students that are stage managers, they can bring paperwork like Dan said. It doesn't have to be anything beyond that. If you have students that are interested in theater ed, they can choose to do an audition. They can present a portfolio. They can just attend the college fair. The portfolio really should be thought of as an interview opportunity, and anything the students bring will be perfectly acceptable and welcome. So it shouldn't be a concern if they don't feel like they have sort of professional quality materials yet. That's not what the colleges are looking for, though we have seen some incredible work. And we know that even students that haven't really trained in this yet can put together some incredible work.
Well, one idea that was mentioned to me that I thought was kind of eye-opening was the college reps are not looking for a finished product. They're not looking for a student who is done and ready to go and step in and do everything, because then they have nothing to do. They're looking for students that they can teach and that are having ideas. I tell my students, make a choice, and then I can alter a choice that is made, but I can't alter nothing. So bring me something.
The colleges are also, they're really focused on finding students that are the best fit for their program. So they're looking for personality. Do we have the things you're interested in? So it really is about that conversation. We have, thank you, Dan, that was fabulous, thank you. We also have on our website a whole page with audition and portfolio information, tips, strategies, some video examples, so you can direct your students there as well. Corey Mitchell is going to talk about preparing students for auditions. And Corey is also a member of the NCTC board. He recently retired. He was teaching at Northwest School of the Arts, except he didn't really retire because he has just started a brand new company called the Theater Gap Initiative. And Corey is working with students who are taking a gap year from college to help them prepare to enter college auditions and find the opportunities that maybe they didn't have available to them when they were finishing high school. Corey has also been the recipient of the NCTC Theater Educator Award. And then he also won this tiny award you might have heard of. He was the first recipient of the Tony Award for Theater Education. So Corey, take it away.
So yeah, such a great introduction. Thank you so much, Angie. And now prepare to be disappointed. Uta Hagen, in Respect for Acting, Uta Hagen says that actors should get to know each other through their art, and not so much through their words and the plays that they've done in the past and their opinions of everything and people in the business. Like, get to know each other through your art. And this is the opportunity for students to have someone get to know them. And it is directly through their art. So my first thing for high school teachers, when I work with students, is the first question I ask is, do you see yourself in this? Yourself right now, today, in this? Not your idealized self of who you want to be and you imagine yourself as this person someday. Do you see yourself right now in this work? And that's the first thing that I work with students for picking a monologue, and picking a song, picking material. Everything else beyond that is all gravy. Show yourself, introduce yourself, okay? And now for the gravy, okay? First of all, and these situations, like the 1 minute time limit always seems to freak students out. And as they're rehearsing, sometimes teachers, and I've been guilty of this, it's like, oh my goodness, this was 1 minute and 12 seconds. You've got to cut another 12 seconds. The thing that we really have to account for are nerves, is that the moment you start talking, unless you're just like cool as a cucumber all the time, which we know that's how theater students are, is like it always comes out just a little bit faster. And so if it is 1 minute and 10, if it's 1 minute and 12, if it's 1 minute and 30, you got a problem. But if it's in that, and what tends to happen is if you're on the last sentence, they will let you finish the sentence. It's not like, oh my God, you get cut off in mid-word. And if you do get cut off, let it be. Flow with it. Let it flow. I have never heard, it's the same when I talk about filming pre-screens, is that each school is required to put forth some sort of guidelines. And what tends to confuse students is like, well, this one says I have to film it in portrait, and this one says I have to film it in landscape. And if I don't do it like this, they're not going to look at me. That's not necessarily true, okay? I have never heard, and I've had the opportunity to talk with a number of colleges and college professors, I've never heard of a kid not passing a pre-screen because the camera wasn't turned 90 degrees, okay? It's really about the talent that they are presenting in that moment. When you're picking material, I go back to, do you see yourself in the as this character in this moment? So when you look at plays and monologues, oh my God, don't do "A Man Is Not a Piece of Fruit" from The Death of a Salesman, because you're not a 60-year-old dude. And on top of that, that is quite literally the emotional peak of that play. And you've done nothing to prepare to get into that moment. So pick material that is also appropriate to the moment for where you are and what you are doing, and that you can do your homework of setting yourself, putting the moment before, and in those things so that the homework is there, okay? And it doesn't take too many gymnastics to get to that point. Y'all, always, 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 always mark your music. Mark your music. Clearly mark your music. Use full accompaniment and not what they call cheat sheets, which is a lot of jazz musicians will do that, where it has like some chords and things like that. Or sometimes people will only, students will only come in with the lyrics and not, you know, like the melody line, and not the full accompaniment. There are some great places for finding music, of course, musicnotes.com, pianotracks.com, some of those that will do that. If there is someone at your school to play for them live, because it is my understanding they are not allowed to have taped accompaniment or like canned accompaniment for these auditions. So practice with that. The conversation to have with with the accompanist. One of the things that I understand is a major pet peeve among accompanists is if somebody taps out the rhythm on the piano. And I have been told it would be, you don't walk up to a violin player and start smacking their violin. So why would you walk up and start smacking their piano? Did not know that. Tap it on your shoulder, tap it on your knee, tap it on it, but don't invade their space, especially in COVID times. Don't nobody want your diseased hands all over their piano where they got to play. Okay. Is when you're with your music. Also, try to avoid page turns. So as much as you can, it's only 16 bars. And if you put it in like a 3-ring binder and it's, like you can see it together so that it is continuous, or if it is, sometimes with 32 bar cuts, it will require a page turn. Try not to write it so that you turn back, because if you've got several songs, something could happen, the book can slip, all of that thing. Use the 3-ring binders with the pocket protectors, okay? Sometimes what happens is students will use their music and they punch holes in the music, and sometimes where that hole punch happened could be keynotes in your accompaniment. It could mess up like key signatures and things like that. So don't punch the holes in the music. Get the holder so that the page is completely intact. Almost done flipping the page. Useful, not lead sheets. Have your conversation with the schools can be really important to the interest that they have in you. Okay, do your homework prior to. Try not to walk in going, why do you want me? The defeatist attitude that goes with this. And try not to, how do I put this? This is for teachers, right? This isn't for students. Try not to fetishize certain schools. Be very careful of that. And I mean, I'm saying that to probably, with one person on the Zoom, probably one of the most fetishized schools in the entire country, North Carolina School of the Arts, or University of North Carolina School of the Arts, just because that rolls off the tongue. So, but try not to do that. Try to fix expectations for the students about this is a process. This is the first step of what is hopefully a long dance between you and college and university. And there may be a few people that cut in and be open to the surprises of what schools have to offer. Study, study, study. Professors and look at the websites and study beyond the pretty pictures. Look at course offerings, look at professors, read about student activities, read about opportunities that are beyond the main stage, and see how you could fit in to some of those places and ask questions about those things. And that's really it for me in a nutshell.
Thank you, Corey. Very helpful. It really, this day is about helping the students find their best fit. We know that in their mind, they're going to spend 90% of their time worried about that audition room. but we are going to do everything we can to make them comfortable and make them have a good experience. And for us, the 90% is the rest of the day. And so we really, really want to do all that we can to help them remember that there is a college for everyone. Everybody that is here is wanted by these colleges. I think sometimes the students think, will anybody want me? The truth is, many colleges will want each and every student that comes to this event. So we are there to just help them find their best fit and make it as stress-free as it possibly can. Yeah, so do you all have any other questions or insights, thoughts to share?
This is great. I'm just very helpful. Thank you. It's a great session.
Good, great. I hope your group will come this year. We always love seeing the School of the Arts bus or whatever roll in. So yes, let us know if you have any questions or need any help.
Thank you.
And thank you to Tiffany for posting that link. I already clicked over, so thank you for doing that.
Yeah, great. Dan, do you want to share any final thoughts? You've had so many students come through this event, and I think many of them have been surprised coming out of the event. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah. I've had students very much in that boat of they're surprised when they get callbacks, and I'm like, no, you're great, you do a fine job, and it's mostly just encouraging them to talk to schools that they may not have heard of. When I talk to my parents who are involved, I say, most students in general are going to know maybe 3 colleges. They're going to know the colleges their parents went to and the college that their theater teacher goes to. And that's going to be it. But there are a lot more options out there for them. And I say when it comes to private and public, the line that I throw out is public school is cheaper, but private schools have more money to give out to bring that cost down to, the same range. What I also tell students is as they're getting down to like the last 2 or 3 colleges that they're deciding between, play them off one another. Go back and say, hey, school A is giving me this amount of money and that's where I need to be. I mean, I really like your campus, but it's just not working. And they'll sometimes come back. And I literally had this happen with a student where the college said, oh, well, now that we know that you're serious, we can give you this scholarship, which brings you down into that range where you need to be. And he ended up at that school and did a great job and is now actually working professionally as an actor. So, don't be afraid to kind of wheel and deal a little bit as you get to the end. But overall, the schools are all there to find the right fit. And they really do talk to one another and they know each other's programs well enough where if a student is talking to a big school with a 400 student department and they get the feeling that the student needs a smaller kind of atmosphere, that school's going to say, well, maybe we're not the right fit, but if you go to this school or that school, you're going to find a program that's probably going to work better for you. So yeah, be open to the surprises. And I've had students walk out with scholarships and their eyes are big as dinner plates with the idea of, oh, they like me. Okay. I think it's also important, and maybe more important, if you have students whose parents are maybe not quite there on their child going into theater, this is a very, very important event for them. I've had several students with parents who went in not really sure, and they come out, the student has scholarship offers, they've been called back to 15 schools, and they see the virtual workshops and the parents say, okay, we're okay with this now. This is cool. And if you're able to be there, I have one parent who at one point he was a baseball coach and he saw me and he was just happy to see a familiar face because this was a very, very different world for him. But I mean, he is very supportive of his student at the time, who is again now a professional actor. So it helps to be there. It helps to kind of bring in the parents that aren't necessarily the theater parents that we all love and pull into our programs. So yeah, that's I think a basic rundown of what we go through with our group.
Thanks, Dan. Corey?
I will just end with one simple plea, which is teachers, surprise your kids. Over the years, here we go, humble brag, I've met a lot of famous people, and I mean a lot, but the thing that happened with pretty much every one of them, it was that moment that there was a teacher who saw them, not their parents, their teacher who saw them and said, there is something special about you. And your encouragement, your direct conversation with your students, and especially your students of color, because if when we talk about you talk about white parents, try that with Black parents sometimes, of convincing and having those kinds of conversations, because of the hesitation and, quite honestly, looking around at what is being and who is being represented. So surprise your kids. Talk to them, encourage them, say, hey, I see something in you, and perhaps you should come, because they more than likely will respond with a no, but they're going home thinking about what you said. And that's it.
Well, thank you all. We're so excited to see you in November. Fingers crossed. It's happening. And we can't wait to meet your students and help them figure out their next steps on their journey. We have NCTC members all over the state running theater companies and teaching that found their best fit at College Day. So it's an exciting time for all of us to get back together again and to help that next generation. So we are here to help. If we can do anything to help you get your students to the event, get them prepared, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can send us emails anytime, and we're also happy to schedule a phone call to talk more.